$197,411. This is what we raised on Kickstarter and Indiegogo combined for a kitchen product called Grater Rain. And the founder, Jimmy, came to us with nothing. No email list, no audience, no community, zero. So if you're planning to launch a Kickstarter and you want to see how campaigns actually hit numbers like these, stick with me because I'm not just going to give you theory, I'm going to share my screen and walk you through the exact funnel we built step by step from the very first ad all the way to launch day. Let's get into it. Quick context on why you should listen to any of this. I run the Scale Up Lab, a launch marketing agency, and Grater Rain is one of our clients. We built this entire pre-launch from scratch, and that is exactly what I'm about to take you through, screen by screen. Nothing here is theory. This is the real account, the real ads, and the real numbers. Before I share my screen, here's a path that we're going to walk. First, the research, who we figured out the real buyer was. Then, the pre-launch page, and the $1 reservation funnel that does most of the heavy lifting. Third, the private VIP group where we funnel everyone into. Fourth, the meta ads, including the one ad that beat everything else we made. Fifth are the email automations running in the background the whole time. That is the pre-launch engine that we built for Grater Rain. Then we get to the launch day and the Kickstarter page itself. All right, enough setup. Let me talk you through it piece by piece, starting with the research. Okay, so this is where every campaign actually starts, long before a single ad goes live. The question we answer first is simple. Who actually buys this and why? Now, Grater Rain is a kitchen product, so the easy answer is people who cook, but that is everyone, and everyone is nobody. So we kept narrowing until we landed on the person who would actually pull out their card for Grater Rain. And here's the part that most founders skip. We did not just sell a grater, we sold convenience that comes with Grater Rain. That positioning is what becomes the headline on the page and the angle on every ad. Get it wrong and everything downstream leaks. So we got it right the first time, then we build the page. Now I'm about to share my screen and show you the exact page that we built for Grater Rain that converted like crazy in pre-launch. So here's the page. Nothing too fancy, almost too simple. It almost looks like we did not do a great job at building it, but it converted at 25% in pre-launch. Okay, so here's the pre-launch page. Once we knew who we're talking to, we built this page. This is the actual pre-launch page, and the first thing I want you to notice is that what it is not. This is not a Kickstarter page. It's a completely different standalone page that exists week before the campaign goes live. And it has one job, that is to capture interest. Look how simple it is. One clear headline, one benefit-driven subheadline, beautiful product imagery, and the email capture right here. No clutter, nothing pulling them away from one action we want. One thing that you notice is that the landing page has no extra buttons except the CTA button that asks them to reserve the Grater Rain for just $1. This is on purpose because we don't want people clicking away and getting distracted by other links on the landing page. So a lot of people do this mistake on their pre-launch landing page. They add too many buttons and some of them even send traffic to their actual website. We want them to land on the pre-launch page where there are no distractions, just one call to action that takes them to the reservation page. Now, onto the reservation page. I want to walk you through exactly what a visitor does the moment they land on this page, because the order matters. The first thing we ask for right here is just their email, nothing else. We don't display the pricing of the product on the landing page that they land on first. And why do we do that? I'll talk about that in just a minute. The second they enter their email, they are a lead, or we call them non-VIPs. They are a lead and they drop into our email sequence, but an email is cheap. Anyone can give you an email. So watch what we ask them to do next. Right after they opt in, we offer them this. Put down a $1 refundable deposit and lock an early bird pricing and become a VIP. Now you might be wondering why $1? Here's the thing, the dollar was never about the money. It's a filter. Like I said, anyone can hand you an email, but almost nobody hands over their credit card for a product that does not even exist yet, unless they actually plan to buy it. So that $1 separates the real buyers from the window shoppers. And on top of that, it gives us payment data that we can build remarketing audiences from. On launch day, the only number that matters is how many VIPs do you have and what is the percentage they convert at. Typically, VIPs convert at 35 to 45%. Plain email leads convert at maybe 1% or less than that. That gap right there is the secret to getting you funded on day one. Okay, so remember I told you that we do not display the pricing on the first page, but on the second page? The reason we do that is that we want to separate product interest from price interest. People who land on the landing page, if they see the pricing right there are high chances that they might drop off. And if they drop off, you want to have a way of knowing why they dropped off. So we ask for the email on the first page and we let them see the pricing on the second page so that if they drop on the second page, we can narrow down that they dropped off due to pricing. So if they gave their email on the first page and went to the second page where we ask them for the $1 deposit and we show the pricing, and if they drop off, we know that they were interested in the product, but the pricing was what didn't click. And the moment they reserve, they land on the thank you page. This is what they see. They're logged in, they feel committed, and they get invited straight into the VIP group, which is exactly where we are going next. Okay, so this next piece is the one almost every founder skips entirely. And I think it might be the most powerful thing in the whole funnel. It has nothing to do with the ads or pages or money. It is about taking a list of total strangers and turning them into a community that actually wants you to win before you have even sold a single unit. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is the Facebook VIP group, and I want to be clear. This is a private, closed group, not a public page. Every single person who reserves gets pulled in here the second they put down their dollar. And inside, this is where the real momentum builds. We're posting behind the scenes, founder stories, sneak peeks, polls asking them what they think, and they start talking to each other. They get excited about the product. By the time launch day comes around, these people are not strangers skimming a promo email. They have been on the journey for weeks, and a lot of them have already decided that they're backing the campaign even before the campaign goes live. But none of this matters without traffic. So let me open the ads account and show you exactly how we filled this group. Now we get to the part that scares most founders: paid ads. And I get it. A lot of you have run Facebook ads before and just watched the money vanish with nothing to show for it. So stick with me here, because pre-launch ads play by completely different rules than anything you've ever tried. I'm going to open up the actual ad account and show you exactly what worked, what we spent, and the one ad that beat everything else. All right, this is the full ad account. We ran cold traffic straight to that pre-launch page, and the whole game in the early phase is testing audiences against each other to see who actually responds. So here are the 3 angles that we tested and why. We ran cold traffic straight to the pre-launch page, and the whole game in the early phase is testing audiences against each other to see which audience segment responds the best. So here are the 3 audiences that we tested and why. First, cheese-related interests. The most direct intent here. People who already love cheese would be the perfect audience for this cheese grater. Second, broader kitchen and cooking product-related interests. These are less targeted, but a big pool to scale into once we found a creative that worked. And third, a higher-end premium store interest audience. These are people who happily pay for more nicer kitchen tools, which actually means a better quality buyer and a stronger reservation rate. And here's the winner. Look at this. It is not some polished studio production, it's just cheese being grated. That is the whole ad, and it beat everything fancier we put up against it. Founders always want to overproduce their ads, and almost every time the simple, native, real-looking creative wins. People are scrolling a feed full of real videos from real people. The ad that looks like it belongs there is the one that stops the thumb. Now let me show you the exact numbers behind it. A click-through rate means how many people clicked on your ad versus how many people saw your ad. Look at the CPM. This is where you want to land around $15 to $20. The cost per reservation is the cost to acquire one VIP. And our target was under $30. Here's the cost per reservation, and here's the cost per lead. And here's how many VIP we collected during pre-launch. And when the dust settled, here's what all of that built. This many VIPs. And quick definition, because this word matters a lot, a VIP is not just an email. A VIP is someone who put down the dollar, a buyer with skin in the game. That distinction is the whole reason the next number, launch day, looked the way it did. But before the launch day, every one of these leads was getting warmed up automatically. Let me show you how. Here's something most founders never think about. You can run perfect ads, build a huge list, do everything right, and still launch to total silence. Why? Because a lead you never talk to is a lead that forgets you. How do you warm up the non-VIPs? How do you keep the VIPs hyped up? How do you transfer the VIPs over to your private VIP group? Let me show you a system that does all of that on autopilot. So this whole time, those leads were not just sitting on a list. The emails were nurturing them in the background. Here are the automations we built, and there are two separate tracks running. This one is the VIP automation for the people who put down the dollar. This has different tone, more access, more urgency because these are buyers. And this one is the non-VIP automation. This is for the email-only leads, and its entire job is to push them into becoming a VIP. And we also have an add to cart automation setup. The purpose of the add to cart automation is to push the people who reach the checkout phase into becoming a VIP. Here are a couple of the actual templates and emails that we sent in each of these email journeys. This here is the add to cart flow. If someone started a reservation and did not finish it, this sequence automatically pulls them back to complete it. This is a small thing, but it brings in real results. And here are the launch emails. Here's the key move. VIPs get the exclusive link first. Before the public announcement ever goes live, they get the first shot at the best pricing. This is how you engineer a spike in the first hour instead of a slow trickle. So this is the entire pre-launch engine. Now let me show you what all of these people landed on when the actual campaign went live. All right, everything I've shown you up to this point happened before the campaign was even live. Weeks of work, all building towards one single moment, launch day. This is where it either pays off or it does not. So let me show you what all of these warmed up, ready to buy VIPs landed on when we hit publish. So this is the Kickstarter page we designed, and there are a few rules we follow on every single page. First, the video does the heavy lifting. It needs to grab attention and it needs to explain the product in a very simple manner so that people can follow along and actually want to scroll to the entire campaign page. Second, keep your page concise. Keep your copy concise. This is not supposed to be a wall of text. Founders love to over-explain. We let the imagery do the talking. Third, every headline is benefit first. Each section opens with what the customer can get, not a spec sheet. We like to sometimes open with the problems. So here we talked about traditional graters and how they're outdated and what are the problems that come with the traditional graters and why Grater Rain is a better option. Something that we did for Grater Rain was make a bold claim right on the top of the page. In this case, we said from fresh to plate in under 10 seconds. This was the bold claim that worked really well for us on the Kickstarter campaign page. Now here's how we structured the reward tiers, because this is where the urgency gets built. First is the VIP pricing. This is offered to the people who reserved early on in pre-launch by paying down the $1 deposit. Then we have the early bird pricing, and you can notice that discount percentage starts to go down for each of these reward tiers. The VIP being the cheapest, and then comes the super early bird pricing, then the early bird pricing, and then there is the Kickstarter campaign special, which is an anchor pricing. The purpose of the Kickstarter special pricing is to stay there as an anchor. This is not a price that we intend to sell at on the campaign, but it's just there to let people know that this is the pricing that it will jump to if they don't act now. So it creates a sense of urgency on the campaign. One quick thing I will only touch on, after the campaign closes, we send a post-campaign survey through BackerKit or Pledgebox to confirm addresses, handle add-ons, and lock in fulfillment. That is a whole video on its own, so I will leave it here for today. Before I give you the final number, I want you to remember where this founder started. Jimmy had no email list, no audience, no community, nothing. Hold that in your head for a second, because it is the only thing that makes this number actually mean something. Now let's get to what Jimmy raised on the campaign. So let's add it all up. Across the entire pre-launch and the live campaign, total amount raised was $197,411. That is a return on ad spend from a founder who started with zero email list, zero audience, zero community. This is what a real pre-launch system actually does. So to recap the whole thing, we figured out exactly who the buyer was, built a simple pre-launch page with the $1 reservation funnel, drove cold meta ads traffic to it, funneled every VIP into a private community, and warmed them all up with emails until launch day. Then we pointed that warm, ready audience at a Kickstarter page built to convert. This is how you raise almost $200,000 from a standing start. And what happened to Grater Rain after Kickstarter? How they turned that same audience into over $100,000 a month in e-commerce? That is a whole other video. If you do not want to miss it, subscribe right now, because that one is coming next. And if you're building your pre-launch right now, drop a comment right now and tell me what you're launching and what phase you are at right now. Pre-launch, about to launch, or already live, I'll read every single one of the comments. Until then, take care. Bye.